Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back in to Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL News Radio. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you. How you enjoying it, folks? AJ Dybantsa, a BYU Cougar. I know one guy.
My wife posted a TikTok about it. That's how far-reaching this is.
Okay, that's big time. That is big time. You know who's also enjoying it? He's probably not on TikTok. I don't think he's ever on social media, even though I think he does have a burner because he referenced something that he saw on Twitter. I think he mentioned a reporter's tweet a couple weeks back. Anyway, it's Kevin Young, BYU basketball head coach, and we had some questions for him after AJ Dybantsa officially signed, made it publicly official that he had signed. This was our Q&A session with Kevin Young. Kevin, just take us through this recruitment of Dybantsa and getting the signing and just the work that it took from you and the staff to pull this off.
Oh, man. Long story. So it's what I'm learning in recruiting is that, everything adds up. Everything matters. There's no real singular event. I think everything has an impact. So, this one started when I was still in the NBA. I took a flight to come to Provo from Minnesota when we were playing the T-Wolves. In between one of the games, I flew back, and AJ's parents were touring the campus, and that's kind of where we first met. Sort of the groundwork was laid, and then just many months of back and forth, building relationships. Seeing AJ play quite a bit. Really didn't get a chance to dig in with him till they narrowed their list down. Mainly was talking with his dad, Ace, who's a great guy. And, once we were kind of in that initial list they cut down, was able to really start talking with AJ quite a bit. And, he's just he's a real fun young man to talk to, especially for as touted as he is. I mean, he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's very intelligent, just mature beyond his years. I don't feel like I'm talking to a young high school player. So, yeah, man, just a lot of positivity. The staff did a tremendous job as well. It was interesting as we went through it. We had a lot of commonalities with their family. Just as my staff has a pretty diverse background, and so we were able to find a lot of common ground with them. With mom and dad and even his sisters and AJ as well. And so it was really just kind of an all hands on deck approach, and just couldn't be happier that he decided to officially join us.
How does this change the outlook of maybe the expectations and just the view of BYU basketball you feel getting a guy like AJ?
I don't run from any kind of expectations since I've gotten here. We want to be great. We want to get great players. We want to compete for championships, and that's why you coach. That's why you compete. And so I don't think this, for me, I don't go to bed thinking, oh, okay, well, we got to do this, that, and the other. I mean, I wanted to do that regardless. And we're just trying to put ourselves in position to compete with the best programs in the country, on the recruiting trail, as well as, in the actual games and in the tournament.
When you think back upon his official visit, what kind of impact do you think that made, seeing BYU fans up close and personal and just being on campus in an official setting?
Yeah, I think it had a huge impact. The passion of our fan base, the excitement that was there when he came to the football game, and even a basketball game as well. I mean, it's hard to be on our campus in really any sporting event and not feel the passion and feel that, people are going to really have your back and stuff. So I think it had a huge impact, not only on him, but on his family.
Was there a moment where you felt like, hey, we're in a really good spot? Maybe it was the official visit, but is there a moment throughout his recruitment where you felt like we're in a great position to land this guy?
Not really, man. I'm not really that type of guy. I mean, I gotta get things to the finish line before I get too excited about anything. So, we just tried to stay the course and just try to, continue building a relationship and just kind of show them who we are and just from a genuine nature, relationship standpoint, I should say. And so we tried not to get too high, get too low, and just continue to build up that trust and that relationship. So, I mean, honestly, it wasn't until, AJ himself called me and told me he was coming that I was breathing a little easier.
AJ said on his public announcement today that he feels like he's kind of like a Tracy McGrady, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with your, extensive NBA background. Who does he remind you of as far as guys that you've worked with or seen in the league?
Yeah, I mean he's a unique talent because he can do a lot of different things. I definitely see those guys he's talking about, but I mean I think parts of his game resemble a lot of the great players. I think defensively he reminds me of Paul George, who I've gone up against in playoff battles and seen him up close. It's some of the passing is LeBron like. Similar to Jaeger, where he's got a pretty good not being his strength, but when he can dart passes, kind of cross court passes and things like that. So, he's a mix of a lot of different guys, but I like, his confidence where he goes out there and just tries to be himself. He's not trying to really be anybody else. But the thing I love most about his game is like he really does try to play the game the right way. For a guy who's as highly touted as he is, there are times where I would go to games and I would almost want him to be even more aggressive looking to score, but he really does try to play the game the right way. And, most of the great players that I've been around, that's a commonality amongst all those players.
And just to follow up on his style of play, like in that official visit when you guys were in the annex were you guys like almost having him go through, potential plays in what your system could look like for him? Like how did that play out as far as what you guys were doing maybe on the court in that official visit?
Yeah, so there's you can't really do it. You can't, or not really. You can't do anything on the court. So we didn't do anything on the court, but we spent a ton of time watching film together and kind of showing him, different things that where I could see him, operating within the flow of our offensive system and defensive system. And to me that those are the funnest parts of the visits, when you can really put everything aside and just make it solely about basketball and just really kind of get into the weeds of the particulars and the details and the style of play. And with such a high IQ player like him, that was really fun.
Lastly, Coach, specific to this year's team, I'm curious how you think the, for lack of a better term, integration is going with playing Dallin Hall and Jaeger together at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely was an uphill battle early with Dallin missing so much time, and we got comfortable with Jaeger, being the primary ball handler, and so. I don't think people realize how hard it is to integrate, a high usage player who's a really good player back into the fold. And so it's definitely taking us some time to work through that. But all in all, I think our chemistry is really good. I was just meeting with Jaeger the other day about that, and he felt like this is the most connected team he's played on to date. And so that I love hearing that. We obviously have a long way to go just to continue to smooth things out and reads and timing and things of that nature. But so far, I think it's been good, but certainly been a challenge with Dallin missing time.
That's BYU basketball head coach Kevin Young. We're taking a break. On the other side, we will get to more of this commentary with AJ Dybantsa and also talk about this current BYU basketball team riding high after a dominant win earlier this week, and maybe the dynamic in the backcourt with Dallin Hall and Jaeger Demon. We'll get to that next here on Cougar Sports Saturday.